One of the decisions you'll need to make when deploying your learning record store for real in your organization is whether you should host it yourselves, do something on premise or under your control, or whether you should go with a software as a service subscription, a fully managed service. Learning Locker actually has both options. Not many in the marketplace do, so you can choose to deploy Learning Locker on your own servers or on your own private cloud account, or you can contract with our company, HT2 Labs, to provide a software as a service fully managed account. Which way should you go? Well, for me, it kind of makes sense to go on premise on your own account in two circumstances. The first circumstance is you're just playing. You're just having a look at something, prototyping, proof of concept. Nothing hugely critical going on, and you don't necessarily need to incur monthly costs in order to prove your use case out. Here, doing something on your own equipment, under your own control, and at minimal cost really does make some sense. The other place where I think it makes sense is actually at the very other end of things, where the learning record store has become an incredibly critical piece of infrastructure for your organization. Here, it might be costing you quite a lot to have it as a fully managed service, and you might be under different geographical or other data restrictions that mean you need to really know the service inside out. At this top end of things, it will be expensive to host it yourself, so you won't necessarily be saving a huge amount of money, but you may get on top of an ever-increasing SaaS spend by dealing with it yourself. Running things at scale, like Learning Locker, takes a lot of skill and quite a lot of capability and capacity. So, we're talking about running 12 servers to create complete redundancy, backups, all sorts of MongoDB operations. This is not an undertaking that you should go into lightly. For anyone else who's in the middle ground, that is, you're moving beyond an initial pilot proof of concept or mess about, but you're not yet at this incredibly critical piece of business infrastructure, software as a service probably makes sense. This is because someone like HT2 Labs is taking on a huge amount of cost ourselves in order to give you an economy of scale. So just setting up Learning Locker in a redundant profile will actually cost quite a lot of money per month. Our lower cost price plans are actually a much easier way to go about doing this. You can benefit from a relatively stable cost, but get the full redundancy of our complete stack. And we can afford to do this because we use that stack for hundreds of people, not just you. Now, your data is logically segregated and it doesn't need to be mixed in with anybody else, but you do need to be aware that SaaS services are generally multi-tenant, and that will need to fit with your organization's data profile. So, go on-prem when you're thinking about doing something for the first time, messing about, or you're going huge and it's a fundamental part of your infrastructure. For the times in between, I think a software as a service option really could save you time, money, and effort.